WHAS11 19 begins right now. The stories are all new since 6. The monster hurricane moving over Jamaica with another landfall next on Cuba. Tonight, you're going to hear from the Louisvillians taking shelter in Jamaica tonight as the storm moved on shore.
We have a branch on our porch. We watched a tree go down. We've seen roofs flying.
And then, local food pantries are becoming so important in Kentuckiana as federal food benefits will end on Saturday with the government shutdown.
We saw a lot of fear walk through the doors this morning. We also had a federal employee come in, and they're not going to be paid until January.
We're in southern Indiana as one church says, frankly, we need your help. Plus,
I'm here to officially announce that I'm running for re-election as mayor of Louisville.
The 2026 race for Metro Hall. Current Mayor Craig Greenberg tonight holding his campaign kickoff. What he said about the importance of his police chief right now on the WHAS 11 Night Team. As we come on the air right now, live at 11 o'clock, you are looking at the current scene, empty streets and hurricane-ravaged Jamaica. What we're showing you here on your screen so that you can get good orientation, 4 different cameras. We've been watching these scenes all day long for you. You see the one city scene there in the upper left. Not as much wind we've noticed from earlier today. The scene on the far right, upper right, is the harbor there. Of course, it is dark looking out of the waters there. They're only 1 hour behind us, so it's 10 p.m. right now in Jamaica. Tonight, the storm still stands at Category 4. Still very dangerous, but it made landfall as a gigantic Category 5 hurricane. Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for being with us on the WHAS 11 Night Team. I'm Doug Proffitt. Chief Meteorologist Mallory Schnell is joining me first at 11, pinpointing the next moves for Melissa. And Mallory, this storm has been a hurricane for quite some time now. How many days?
That's right, Doug. Since Saturday. That's when it rapidly intensified from a tropical storm to a major hurricane. We did see some slight decreasing of the winds from, of course, the landfall earlier this afternoon as a Category 5. Those winds decreased once it spent some more time over Jamaica. But yes, we're back to a Category 4 hurricane with wind speeds of 130 miles per hour as it aims to take landfall across eastern Cuba tonight into early tomorrow morning. Then it impacts the Bahamas and continues to race off to the northeast, impacting Bermuda by late Thursday this week. Back here at home, it's been a dreary day across Kentuckiana. We do have a lot of rainfall on our doorstep. This will all be rolling in later on tonight throughout the day on Wednesday. I'll let you know how much rainfall we're expecting here locally and what you can expect for your Halloween. That's coming up in our 7-day forecast. Doug.
Mallory, thank you. Now some of the video out of Jamaica earlier today. Again, still holding steady at a Category 4. As Mallory said, winds up to 130 miles per hour, bearing down on Jamaica, heading next to Cuba. The Caribbean island is experiencing its most powerful storm in recorded history with strong, damaging winds and, of course, catastrophic flooding. Jamaica's prime minister has declared the country a disaster area. The hurricane made landfall just this afternoon, 1 o'clock Louisville time, and is now heading towards eastern Cuba. Authorities are racing to move people to higher ground tonight.
8 hours has been at this steady high wind, high speed, just this constant whistle.
Tonight, we are hearing from this couple from Louisville, among those trapped in Jamaica, as Hurricane Melissa actually made landfall there. They're hunkered down in a hotel at the moment, while many others on the island brace for the powerful storm inside their own houses. WHAS 11 Night Team's Conroy DeLuce shares the story of 2 people riding out the hurricane and another woman who was right here still in Louisville, but her heart is with her home country.
There's our friend. He came to join us a couple hours ago.
This was the scene from Montego Bay as Hurricane Melissa was passing over Jamaica.
We're in pretty protected walls. It's horrible out here, so I can only imagine what it's like on the inland.
Courtney Allen and her partner, Johnny Eisen, were scheduled to leave on Wednesday.
My birthday. My birthday's Thursday.
But have spent more than 24 hours in lockdown.
In the middle of a hurricane.
They still do have Wi-Fi and power, but their minds are on the staff helping them through this storm.
But it's hard to still consider them and what they're going through and what's in the back of their mind while they're smiling and laughing with us, knowing that, their homes are also going to be damaged.
Alan and Ison are eager to return to Louisville after the storm.
I've always wanted to create a home away from home.
Meanwhile, in Louisville, Janice Clark's mind is on her native island, constantly watching TV coverage and checking in with family.
And they have been reporting a lot of flooding and downed trees and rooftops coming off, cars being smashed by trees. I do have relatives in Santa Cruz, and they are the ones who I have not been able to reach.
Clark says her native Jamaica has a relaxed culture and is beautiful, an atmosphere she captures inside her restaurant in downtown Louisville, Element, which opened up earlier this year. But paradise is also occasionally in the path of a hurricane.
Experienced Hurricane Gilbert, which I thought was really a major one. But this one, Category 5, Melissa, she's a bad girl.
As her loved ones ride the storm out,
We just have to pray that they survive the storm.
Ison and Allen wait through the fury in hopes they will soon return to Kentucky.
We're just dealing with what's coming.
Reporting, Conroy DeLuche, WHAS11 Night Team, on your side.
Clark, by the way, says her restaurant in downtown Louisville will be collecting donations that will go to the hurricane victims. For those who are interested in helping out, she's encouraging you just to stop by or to give them a call. A new update tonight, a story we've been following. The Kentucky Public Service Commission rules today LG&E and KU can move forward with new natural gas units at 2 plants. LG&E and KU were approved for part of their proposal, including a natural gas unit at the Mill Creek substation that's in far southwest Jefferson County along Dixie Highway. But they were denied their request to extend the life of a coal-powered generator there. LG&E said they needed the new units mostly to power potential data centers. But our focus team found there are no signed service agreements for these hyperscale data centers in Kentucky yet. The Public Service Commission admonished the utility company, saying if the data center customers don't come, they need to stop construction on them. Breaking tonight, Ron Exantis, the man released early from prison after killing 6-year-old Logan Tipton in Versailles, Kentucky, is now heading back to Kentucky. He's been extradited from Florida. That happened earlier today. In 2015, Exantis drove from Indianapolis to Versailles, where he randomly broke into a home, later admitted to killing young Logan. His early release caught the attention of federal officials, including the White House. Exantis was rearrested earlier this month in Marion County, Florida, after investigators were tipped off about his relocation to the area of Florida. Deputies confirmed his Marion County address and discovered that he had failed to register as a felon, violating his parole. He was then arrested and booked into the Marion County, Florida jail with no bond, and today he's now on his way back to Kentucky. Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer said on social media today, quote, "Today, child murderer Ronald Exantis is on his way back to Kentucky where he belongs. I encourage all violent criminals to stay far away from Florida," end quote. Once in Kentucky, Exantis will face the consequences of violating the terms of his parole and his early prison release. Some frightening moments this morning as a man is taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation after a fire at an apartment building near Tom Sawyer Park in far eastern Jefferson County. This happened about 9:30 this morning, and we have this brand new video tonight given to WHAS 11 News by the Anchorage, Middletown Fire and EMS. They, along with St. Matthews Fire, responded to a 2-story apartment building on Shining Willow Drive right off Westport Road. Crews arrived within 4 minutes of being dispatched there. Firefighters say heavy smoke poured through the front of the building. 2 adults made it out on their own, and 1 man was treated for smoke inhalation on the scene, then taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. Firefighters say there was extensive fire damage to the bedroom, which is where the fire started. The cause of the fire is still under investigation tonight. Right now at 11, we want to switch you live to a live look at the White House this evening. Republican and Democratic lawmakers make no progress today on finding a solution to end what is now the second longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Earlier tonight, the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, the Democrat, said he will introduce a bill to extend funding for SNAP and WIC. The Senate failed for the 13th time today to advance a bill that would reopen the government until November 21st. The House remains out of session this week. Funding for SNAP benefits is set to run out by the end of the week, November 1st, that's Saturday, putting millions of people at risk. And right now, new on the night team, Southern Indiana food pantries say the fear of not receiving SNAP benefits is stressing out many Hoosiers. One organization says they're seeing a 30% increase of visitors, and they need your help tonight. WHAS 11 night team's Jose Alonso and photojournalist Levi Hammer tell us how your donations will help them help others.
These shelves of non-perishables are ready to bring a basket of hope to Southern Indiana families. The food bank, Hope Southern Indiana, says about 40% of their food comes from the USDA.
And the other percentage, the other 50% comes from our community.
Emergency Services Director Heather Liebert says usage has increased by 30% since April.
When it comes to Hope Southern Indiana, have y'all seen a recent increase in families needing this sort of food?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, since SNAP is coming to an end, especially today, we saw a lot of fear walk through the doors this morning. And we also had a federal employee come in, and they're not going to be paid until January.
The journey to keep families fed expands across the city of New Albany. Hope Southern Indiana says they partner with several churches who host food drives and donate those items to their food pantry. But there are other congregations in Floyd County, just like Vineyard Church, who have a similar mission and program. It all started with this blessing box.
A little food pantry box that's on the corner of our building. Take what they need, leave what you can. Type of operation.
Co-pastors Brian and Alexandra Hassett have kept the spirit of the box alive and expanded it into a food pantry.
This is literally what I believe churches are called to do. It's like when there's people hungry in our area, it's our job to make sure families are fed.
The Hassetts say the news of the no SNAP benefits in November stirred panic among church members and their families.
They're stressed out. And it's so hard to see the way that wears on entire families, because it's not, I think a lot of times we just attribute this to an adult issue, but we forget that children are involved in this.
Both organizations are preparing for an increase in demand, but they need your help to ensure no families struggle. In New Albany, Jose Alonso, WHAS 11 night team on your side.
Kentuckiana once again showing how generous that we can be in this area. You have seen this time and time again. So if you wish to help both food pantries keep their shelves stocked, you're encouraged to drop off your donations. They need food, non-perishable food, and frozen food as well, and canned goods, toiletries, and diapers. To find out how, visit Hope Southern Indiana and the Vineyard Church websites for all of the details. Several governors, including Kentucky's Andy Beshear, are suing the USDA over the freeze of SNAP money. Beshear saying today the USDA sent a letter prohibiting states from working with vendors that provide SNAP benefits.
The sad part about this is there are emergency funds that are right there. All the Trump administration has to do is say, we're going to use them.
More than 600,000 Kentucky families benefit from SNAP. Kentucky's Attorney General Russell Coleman says there is an easier way to help those families. Now, new at 11, concerned Louisvillians show up to voice their issues with data centers at tonight's Metro Council Zoning Forum to get feedback. Many were let down as the zoning board can only field suggestions on zoning regulations for data centers and not environmental impacts. Electricity consumption in the U.S. reached an all-time high in 2024 thanks to the data centers and is expected to rise even more for 2025. On top of usage prices. Many residents tonight want answers about policies and zoning.
Data centers come in, or these businesses come into our community, they strain our infrastructure, and then we are left paying for it. What are they doing and how are they making it so we're not footing the bill for the data center?
The next forum takes place Monday, November 3rd at the South Central Regional Library. That's on Jefferson Boulevard, right off the outer loop. And now we want to update a story we told you about last night here at 11 on the night team. EMS service is one step closer to expanding to a town that hasn't had it for decades in Hardin County. In a vote tonight, the Hardin County lease agreement passed. Tonight, the fiscal court there voting unanimously to pass the agreement between the Hardin County government and the West Hardin Fire and Rescue. This will now allow the county to move into the department space with an EMS crew and an ambulance. The final plan of how it will be staffed and when it's intended to be operational will be announced tomorrow. The decisions will be made and finalized by the Judge Executive Keith Tall.
Tonight, I'm here to officially announce that I'm running for re-election as mayor of Louisville.
Right after this on the night team, News Since 6, the race for Louisville mayor officially underway. Current Mayor Craig Greenberg kicking off his campaign tonight. We're there for coverage on the night team.
And we are seeing mist and drizzle across Kentuckiana tonight with steadier rainfall rolling in all day on Wednesday. We'll take a look at some of those potential rainfall totals coming up in our full forecast. Here's a check of today's Kentucky Lottery jackpots. Mega Millions $714 million, Powerball $376 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, funding education for over 1 million Kentucky students.